The Little Princess Lost in the Cloud Castle. Once upon a time, in a kingdom where the morning sun painted golden strokes across the sky, and the night stars twinkled like diamonds on velvet, there lived a little princess named Liora. Liora was not an ordinary princess. She had a crown made of moonbeams, hair that shone like a waterfall of sunlight, and eyes so bright that the royal gardener said they looked like two bluebells covered in morning dew. More than anything else, Princess Liora was curious about everything. She asked questions from sunrise to sunset.
Why do the birds sing louder after the rain? How does a rainbow know where to stand? What makes clouds so fluffy, and can I touch them?
Her parents, the king and queen, answered patiently, but sometimes even they didn't know. And that was what often led Princess Liora on adventures of her own. The mysterious ladder. One particularly breezy afternoon, Princess Liora sat by her balcony, watching the clouds drift lazily across the sky. They looked like sheep, castles, and even giant cupcakes. Suddenly, something unusual caught her eye. Far above the tallest tower of her palace, a silver ladder shimmered in the sky, stretching upward into the drifting clouds. It swayed gently, as though inviting her. Her heart skipped.
A ladder to the clouds? That must mean there's a castle up there.
Without a moment's hesitation, she slipped on her silver shoes, tucked a small satchel under her arm with cookies and her favorite storybook, and tiptoed past the palace guards. She ran into the royal garden where the ladder touched the ground. The rungs sparkled beneath her hands.
Just a quick climb. I'll peek at the clouds and come right back for supper,
she told herself. But ladders to the sky are not ordinary ladders. They climb much farther than one can imagine. Liora climbed higher and higher until the palace looked like a tiny toy below. She climbed past birds that fluttered and chirped, past a rainbow that hummed softly like a harp string, and past stars that seemed to giggle at her bravery. At last, her head popped through the top of the clouds, and there it was, the Cloud Castle. The Cloud Castle. The castle floated gently on a vast pillow of clouds. Its towers were made of mist that glittered like crystal. Bridges arched between the towers, soft as marshmallows, and windows shimmered like bubbles ready to float away.
Wow! It's even more magical than I dreamed,
whispered Liora. She stepped onto the cloud floor. To her delight, her feet didn't sink. Each step was like walking on cotton candy. She giggled and twirled, sending little puffs of cloud drifting around her. But cloud castles are full of secrets, and not all of them are easy to understand. The first door. The Hall of Echoes. As Liora wandered through a misty hallway, she found a grand door shaped like a seashell. She pushed it open and stepped inside. The room was enormous, and every word she spoke bounced back at her louder and louder.
Hello?
She called.
Hello, hello, hello.
The room shouted back. She tried again.
I am Princess Liora. I am Princess Liora. Liora, Liora.
At first, she laughed. But soon, the echoes grew confusing. They overlapped and tangled, until she wasn't sure which voice was hers and which belonged to the castle. Her chest tightened.
What if I can't hear my real voice anymore?
Just then, a tiny cloud sprite appeared. It looked like a puffball with little eyes and wings. It floated close and whispered gently.
When everything feels too noisy, the trick is to be quiet and listen. Your own voice is always inside you.
Liora closed her eyes, pressed her hands to her chest, and stayed silent. Slowly, the echoes faded until only her steady breathing remained. She smiled in relief.
Thank you,
she told the sprite.
You're welcome,
it replied before vanishing into a puff of mist. The second door, the Garden of Drifting Paths. Farther inside the castle, she found another doorway. This one opened into a garden where paths of cloud drifted in all directions. They curled and crossed and sometimes disappeared altogether. Liora picked a path and walked, but it shifted beneath her feet, leading her in circles. She tried another, and it led her back to where she started. Soon, she was frustrated.
Which way's out?
She cried. A voice as soft as the wind answered.
The garden changes when you rush. Slow down, little princess.
She paused. The more she looked, the more she noticed tiny sparkles glowed on certain paths, almost like breadcrumbs. She decided to follow them step by step, calmly, without hurrying. At last, the path carried her out of the garden. She sighed with relief.
Patience shows the way.
She whispered, remembering the lesson. The third door, the room of lost things. Next, she entered a chamber filled with floating objects. Lost toys, missing socks, single buttons, forgotten books, and even feathers. They swirled gently like stars in space. Among them, Liora spotted something familiar, her old teddy bear, the one she had misplaced when she was 3. She reached for it, but as she did, dozens of other objects floated toward her, tugging her arms and pulling her in every direction.
I can't grab everything,
She gasped. From the shadows, a kindly cloud woman appeared, her gown flowing like mist.
Child, in life, you cannot hold on to all that you lose. Some things are meant to return, and some are meant to drift away.
Liora looked again at the teddy bear. She took a deep breath and held it tight.
Then I choose this one.
The cloud woman smiled.
A wise choice. Remember, treasure what matters most.
The other objects floated back into the mist, leaving Liora with her bear. Her heart felt warm, lost in the maze. But the cloud castle was tricky. As she wandered deeper, corridors twisted and turned until Liora realized she no longer knew the way back to the silver ladder. The hallways stretched endlessly, each one looking like the last. Her stomach rumbled, her cookies were gone, and the sky outside had turned soft pink with sunset. Fear crept in.
What if I can't go home?
She whispered. Her teddy bear felt heavier in her arms, and her crown of moonbeams drooped. Just then, the little puffball sprite reappeared.
Don't cry, princess. The castle only feels confusing when you are scared. Remember what you learned. Listen, be patient, and choose what matters.
But how do I find the ladder?
She asked. The sprite smiled.
Close your eyes and listen. Your heart knows the way home.
The journey home? Liora pressed her teddy bear to her chest, shut her eyes, and listened. Beyond the silence, she heard a faint sound. The gentle ringing of the palace bells far below. Step by step, she followed the sound through the cloud corridors. She walked patiently, not rushing, until a soft silver glow appeared ahead. The ladder! Joy bubbled inside her. She climbed down carefully, the clouds brushing her cheeks like goodbye kisses. When her feet touched the palace garden again, the night stars sparkled brightly above. Supper and a lesson. That evening, Liora sat at the long dining table, her teddy bear on her lap. The king and queen looked at her curiously.
You've been gone quite a while, my dear,
said the queen gently.
Yes, I got lost in the cloud castle.
Liora admitted. Her parents exchanged surprised glances.
And how did you find your way home?
Asked the king. Liora smiled proudly.
I remembered to listen, to be patient, and to choose what matters most.
The queen leaned down and kissed her forehead. Those are lessons even grown-ups forget sometimes. The king raised his goblet. To our brave little princess who found her way. Liora giggled, hugging her teddy bear tightly. She felt wiser braver, and more confident. Epilogue. The clouds. Remember, from that night on, whenever Liora looked at the sky, she noticed the clouds wink at her. Sometimes, if she listened closely, she could even hear the faint laughter of the puffball sprite. And though she never again climbed the silver ladder, she knew that the cloud castle was always there watching, waiting, and reminding her of the lessons she had learned. Listen to your heart when the world is too noisy. Be patient when the path is unclear. Treasure what truly matters. And with those lessons, Princess Liora grew to be a wise and kind queen one day. But for now, she was still the little princess who once got lost in the cloud castle and found her way home.